Oh, hi. I'm Bettina May. I'm originally from Canada and I live in Las Vegas, and this is how I live. I moved to the States about 10 years ago and was part of a traveling show and lived in New York for a bit, but I've been in Vegas for about 4 years now. Since moving to the United States, I've been able to just make my way based on being a self-employed artist. Part of that was out of necessity. When I moved down here, I was on a really limited work visa, so I was only able to do the work that my visa stipulated, which was burlesque dancing and pin-up modeling instruction, which is like very specific. So that really limits how you can make a living. And so while I was trying to get my green card, even though in my previous life, I was working for the Canadian government, I was doing a lot of business admin, that sort of thing. My work visa wouldn't allow me to do any kind of office work. So I really had to just force myself to somehow make a living in New York City only doing performance. Fortunately, I picked that town because it's one of the few places I knew people were doing that, but it means you got to keep a lot of plates spinning in the air at the same time, and the more different things that you can do, the better. So, first I was just doing burlesque, and then I was also teaching, vintage pinup styling, then photography, and then music, and then writing. So I sort of have about five things going. Although, currently there's a pandemic, so I'm doing none of those things except writing, which has been great, and practicing music. And running a magazine called An Occasional Man. In the same way that running my magazine also covers a lot of the bases. I do the photography for it. I design the layout of it and lay it out myself. I write the interviews, find the people to be in it, shoot most of the photos, and then, market and sell it all myself. So it's it's nice to sort of fully control a project and do everything and have it come out exactly as I planned, which is nice. With writing, I love being able to create something totally from scratch. It's the only thing I do where I don't base it on something else. Whereas with photography, because I've never been able to create, say, a painting from scratch. I like being able to find something interesting or beautiful or cool to photograph, and then, based on that real thing that I'm photographing, create some art out of that, which is satisfying. But with writing, the difference has been to just completely create a scenario or world or whatever, and that's exciting, nerve-wracking. I don't know if I always aspired to be a writer, but I loved to be able to create my own worlds, and had a very active fantasy life. The thing I enjoyed creating stories and coming up with different scenarios, and increasingly as I got older and sort of doing more critical thinking about either the movies I was seeing or the books I was reading, and being frustrated that there seemed to be really limited narratives for female characters especially, and their aspirations and where their character arcs would go. I was like, man, I wish someone would write a story that I actually want to hear, and finally had to realize I guess you should write the story that you want to hear. And that's kind of what spurred me into actually getting down to it and starting to write.